Hello everyone and welcome back. So this is day two. I'm recording these videos kind of all at once for two purposes. One, I want to keep in the right mindset to draw the picture, and number two, this will give me a little bit of lead time between videos so that I can post them hopefully with some amount of frequency. So here we are with Liliana, day two, from your perspective anyways. And I just wanted to talk a little bit as I'm working on some of the processes that I go through. One question I get a lot is how often do I use reference material? And I'll be honest with you, I try to use reference material a lot for drawing people, but for this one here, I'm just kind of, because I don't want to lose my train of thought too much while talking, I want to kind of just draw someone fairly generic. So there's no reference picture, although I do have on my phone here a picture of Liliana that I'm working off of to kind of help me just with like the weird banana clip thing she has in her hair there. And also, so some of the general ideas of what her armor and I don't know, look are all about, but I'm not beholden to that. I'm not going to hold myself too closely to that ideal. I want to be able to have the freedom to draw from my imagination as much as possible. And I think that is not only a hard thing to do, so if you're not doing that, don't worry about it, but more importantly, that's something which I think requires a lot of work, a lot of confidence. And so while you're building that, please feel free to use those reference pictures. I know that I pretty much exclusively used reference pictures when I first started, and I have a whole binder just full of pictures of things that my friends really enjoy. So I had references of them because my friends and their fandoms were a really big source of inspiration for me when I first got started. Once again, I'm not too concerned about talking my way through all these different features here. I'm actually going to do videos which will expressly explain how I draw all of these different facial features individually and then together later. But this way you can kind of just see the process happen. And again, I'm hoping that the fact that it's Magic the Gathering, the fact that it's art, will both really inspire people and get them thinking about trying this themselves. I mean, the art in Magic the Gathering literally is what got me into the game. I remember when my friend first started playing with me, I was a blue mage, not because I like control, but because it was my favorite color. And there were lots of Krakens and Leviathans in blue. And that some of the art on those, like I started playing probably around about original Theros thereabouts. So they had all sorts of Sealock monster and oh man, all these wonderful octopi and leviathans and undersea creatures. I still have a passion for underwater creatures, sharks and squids, and you know, even the idea of the mythical kraken is very, very cool. So no reference picture here, but certainly just kind of like using my experience, and that's something which you will gain over time. I love drawing people. Drawing people is fascinating to me because I mean, most people have two eyes, a nose, a mouth, but the difference really has to do with subtlety. Lots of little things that make a big difference, and those little things add up. I talked in my last video, which I just recorded a couple months ago, about how I think the world would be a better place if everyone would draw, or at least was creative in some way. And man, I totally believe that. I totally think that would be an incredible place to be, where everyone was drawing or sculpting or painting or whatever it is that you find joy in when it comes to the art. It also occurred to me a couple of days ago as I was watching a Bob Ross video. I love Bob Ross. That we're missing a lot of positivity in the world right now. We've lost some people in the last few years, and you know, people who had really positive influences. And I am by no means saying that I can fill those shoes or have the same awesome hair that Bob Ross has, but I'm hoping that maybe in my own little way I can bring some of that joy. And hey, I have some happy little goblins, happy little mountain cards. trees, forests, etc. on the channel. So there is an interesting discussion in the art community, as far as I know anyways, about shading. And I might as well weigh in on that one there. It's a personal opinion. Everyone's got their thing. I am a fan of using the pencil for most of my shading. But the reality is, when it comes to drawing people, there are going to be times when I'm going to bite the bullet and I'm going to just take my fingers and I'm going to use some smudging. And one aspect of this channel I want to try and explore is the idea that you don't need to spend a lot of money on art, especially when it comes to drawing. So we're going to talk about things like blending stomps, but I'm going to try to avoid using a lot of specialized tools. You're going to see me use a lot of pencils. This is just a regular HB and a sketchbook. And that way the cost can be kept down, especially if you're new to art. You don't want to spend a lot of money. And gosh, I remember my first few pencil sets coming out of high school were Crayolas. And you know, no disrespect. I mean, no disrespect to Crayola. They're great for kids, but you really get what you pay for with art supplies. So, gosh, my first Faber-Castell sets, my first Prismacolor set, I can't go back. I can't do it. So it's tough. So we're gonna start the channel anyways by just using basic tools as much as possible, trying to avoid spending lots of money on our artwork. One thing I should have mentioned earlier, and something I really didn't do very well here, is talk about the idea of erasing your guidelines before you start shading too much. Otherwise, you tend to erase some of your shading. So I'm just gonna do that now while I'm still thinking about it. I gotta admit, doing this on camera isn't as easy as I thought it was going to be, but we'll figure it out. But yeah, so I'm going to try and keep the videos down to about 10 minutes each. The last one was, I think, 13, but that's, I was talking about the channel and the goals of the channel. So I'm going to try and keep these down to about 10 minutes and get as far as I can in those 10 minutes. And again, we're not talking about particular techniques here so much. So I'm gonna just kind of breeze my way through this a little bit, and then we'll talk more in detail about how I do these sorts of things. Man, that is a really interesting looking. It's really high up on her forehead too. Really interesting looking diadem or ornamentation, I guess, on her banana clip thing. If anyone knows what this thing is, by the way, let me know. The Magic Arcanum video I mentioned last time talks about how it was something that she claimed from an angel, I guess. I didn't quite get it, so I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of special thing. Does it involve the chain veil? Does it involve I don't know, her in some really interesting way, shape, or form? Let me know in the comments, because I'm curious. This is so cool. It's kind of like the gem on or I guess in between Nicol Bolas's horns. I had no idea what that was for the longest time, and then I saw a magic card, and I think it's called a gem of becoming or something like that. Man, I should have researched this before I started talking about it. Anyways, it was really cool looking, and it apparently has something to do with his power. I'll need to look that one up, I'm afraid, because I don't remember off the top of my head what that was all about. But yeah, kind of a cool headbandy thing she's got over here. And because she's at an angle, the picture I'm using is such that it's looking head on. So I got to extrapolate a little bit. But that's, I think, one of the neat trials, or one of the neat challenges when it comes to drawing. You have to kind of like figure stuff out as you go and work out these little details. So she's kind of looking a bit Wonder Woman-y right now, but we'll keep working at it and see what we can do here. I'm kind of looking over her shoulder a little bit, so we'll get some hair worked out. But I am hitting that 10-minute mark now, so I'm gonna end it here. I'm just gonna do her basically her head, neck, and maybe some shoulders here and there. Keep it simple for this. Maybe we'll call it the first 3 videos. Maybe it might be 4. We'll see. But I'm hoping that, you know, watching it happen and live, not on like a time lapse, will kind of make it easier to sort of figure out. And again, don't worry if you try this and you're not able to get it to work exactly the same. I've got a little bit more experience. I'm old. I've been playing for a while. I've been drawing for a while. So don't worry if you're not there yet. But I mean, already, just compared to where it was at the beginning of the first video, the difference is just incredible. It's amazing what shading can do, and that will come with time and practice. So we'll leave it there. Didn't get a lot done in terms of actual quantity of material covered, but there's how it's looking so far. So hope you liked that part of the video. Like, share, subscribe, all that YouTube-y sort of stuff, and I'll talk to you next time.